everybody, and welcome to the Kawaii Bookworm Plays with Yarn podcast. I'm Hannah, and I'm a Jersey girl studying at the University of Liverpool. It's been quite a while, guys. I'm sorry I didn't put anything in a video out and only put it on Instagram, but the last couple weeks have been the end of term and my field work in Denmark. And because of that, I had three final presentations, 2 or 3 final papers, and then Denmark. And it was too much to be able to keep up with both my schoolwork and my knitting and the podcast. So I decided to take a 4-ish week break in order to focus on the schoolwork and have maybe a little bit of knitting to show you guys, because I don't have a lot to show you. While it's been 3 weeks, I've been quite busy with other stuff, so I don't have a ton of a bit of progress on all of my whips, but no finished objects, no new starts, and unfortunately no new additions to the hoard. So I'm gonna jump into works in progress. This one is living in my Edinburgh bag. I love it. And I showed this last time on the podcast, but it was in a different iteration. So it is my honeycomb socks. I actually restarted these socks. So I was originally doing them in Vine Yarn's Dead Calm colorway, which is a really, really dark blue. And I had finished the toe and started on the honeycomb patterning, and it didn't work. You couldn't see the patterning at all. And I kind of had the feeling that was going to happen, but I really wanted to work with that yarn, but I also really wanted to do the pattern. And so I decided to switch to Vine Yarn's Edinburgh colorway. And this is her footsie base, which is a BFL nylon. And you can see the little honeycombs. I did mess up on this row, so you can ignore that, but these rows are alright. And let's see if I can get to focus. I always have this problem, but it's really nice. I really, really like how it's working up. And each one is really quite different. So here's this one. This one is much lighter compared. And I've just realized I don't have my lights on. Now they're on. Not like they make a difference, but ambiance. So this is the Maker pattern called the Honeycomb Socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm doing this on 2.25 millimeter needles. And it's a 74 or 76 stitch count. 38 plus 38. Wherever that is the stitch count. And I had the same feeling with the other one, but I'm not sure. I feel like this is a bit big. The toe is a bit big, and it might be, but we'll find out. Because I'm still having issues with toes. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the right toe for me. And because this is a stitch pattern that has a much higher stitch count than most of the other patterns I've done in the past. Most of them are about 64. I can't tell if if doing the toe in 2.25 and then the rest of it in 2.5 is the right way to go. Because the toe did look so large, I'm just going to stay in 2.25 and get most of the foot done. See how the foot fits, and then if it's too tight, I'll just rip out and do it again. I feel like most of my projects right now have been basically not going right. So I restarted these, and this is what I'm getting, and I like them. So this is, the stitch marker is a little bumblebee. If I can get it. Oh, come on. Come on. Stop. Focus on the shiny thing, not the shirt. Come on. Let's see. Oh, well, you get the idea. It's a bumblebee. It's from Beehive Yarn. Beehive Yarns, and it's adorable, and out because honeycombs. So I got a lot of that worked on when I was in Denmark because I flew to Copenhagen, but where my field work was in Tolna, which is right below Skagen, or Skein, as they say it in Danish, and I know I've but not said that totally right. Danish is very hard to pronounce, but it's right below the most northern point of Denmark. Um, so I had a long drive and a long train ride from Copenhagen to Skagen and then back again. So I brought those because I, for some reason, sort of panicked about bringing my needles. Even though I've been knitting since I was a freshman in uni, which was almost 6 years, which was 2012, and like consistently knitting, not just knowing how to knit. And I've always flown with my needles because I fly a lot. So I don't know why I had like a mini panic about it, but for some reason I was like, oh my god, I can't bring my needles. And so I only brought those because while they were tricky to find here, it's not too hard to find. I can order them online, but I didn't want to risk these, my Licca needles. So this one is my ranunculus, which is coming along nicely, I think. I hope. I was here last time, and this is a progress creeper from Dusty Dimples. She was giving them out at Nottingham Yarn Expo. It's getting quite tarnished, actually, but it's not caused any problems for my knitting. I just noticed that. So I have splits for the body. The ranunculus pattern has a couple of modifications, like multiple patterns within it. The way, when you buy it, there's 2 downloads. You get, there's more like 3 or 4 downloads, but it's 4 downloads, 2 in English, 2 in Japanese. And the one download has just the one size fits all one, and then the other download has the modifications for larger bust. And I'm right on the edge, the max for, there's like sort of a 10 centimeter gap, I think, between my measurements and then the minimum for the modifications. So I decided to just do the regular one without the larger bust modifications. And then you can choose a wide neckline or a not wide neckline, and then short sleeves or long sleeves. And so I've decided to do the wide neckline and short sleeves. And this is what I've got. So the short sleeves are bound off now, and it's split for the body. And now it's just going to be stockinette until I hit the part where I do the ribbing, and then ribbing, and it's done. I've not tried it on. I've not even really checked to see if my gauge is right. But if I like hold it up, the sleeves hit my shoulder. I'm not even really stretching it that far. And there's a lot of room for it to stretch. Like if I actually stretch it, it's got quite a bit of give because it's fingering weight yarn on US 10. Yeah, US 10 6mm needles. So I'm not too worried. But I'm not going to be fussed that this is too small. I think it'll be just the right size. I am using Skein Queen yarn in their Splendid base. It doesn't have a colorway name, so I don't know. And because I'm using hand-dyed yarn, I am alternating skeins. And I do find that I am getting this ridge in the back here where I'm alternating my skeins, and it's because one of the stitches is getting pulled quite tightly, and I haven't figured out how to keep that from happening, because it's not the one that I'm pulling, like when I drop the yarn and then pick up the other yarn, and I pull it a little bit so that it's about the right size. It's not that one. That one I give a lot of leeway. It's like the next one over for some reason. So I've got this little bit of a spine, but that's going down the back, and it might block out. If it doesn't, I'm not fussed, because it'll just be like a design feature because it's going all the way down the back. So that I'm okay with. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how this is turning out. I should have it finished soon. I'm going to Wales tomorrow, and it's just for a day, but I'm going to be in the car, so I'm going to bring this and work on that. So, oh, and the pattern is Ranunculus by Knit Cafe Midori. And the needles, I'm using Licca, it's stuck, Licca needles in US 10 6mm. And that lives in my Down Sheepy Lane Sheepy bag. I love it. I love all my bags, really. This one's giving me problems. It's living in my British Museum tote bag with all my buttons. And this is my Wintersole. It's giving me problems because I'm at the point where I need to do the bind off. And I've already split for sleeves and body, and I need to do the bind off. But my problem is that when I put it on, I get this. There's almost too much room. And I think part of the problem is I have weird measurement. Like, if I pull it down to there, then it's fine. But that's like way too wide of a neckline. It's almost off my shoulders. And I'd rather have it somewhere like there. But then that doesn't, it's too budgy. So I'm not sure. Alright, restart it. So it gets this budginess. And I don't know what to do about that. What I might end up doing is pulling out to here where the color work starts, and then redoing the color work in a smaller needle. I don't want to do that, but that might be the only choice, because what somebody else said that I could do is put short rows here and then close that up, but I still feel like it's gonna be quite budgy here. And I'm not, if anybody has suggestions on how to fix that, or if it's just something that's gonna be and there's nothing I can do about it, please tell me, because I want to have this sweater. I like this sweater, and it does, it's hard to see, but the measurements that I based it off of, which is just the bust measurements, it fits. It fits here. But I have awkward measurements, so this is all budging there. I'm not sure. Don't know what to do. It's my first colorwork pullover and it's not going well. Oh well. I'll figure it out. But if anybody has suggestions, please, please tell me because I'm clueless and I need help. So, let's see if I can get this off now without losing my stitches. I did that the other day when I tried it on. Alright. And there goes my hair. Wonderful. Oh well. Well, that is pretty much all I have been working on. I did put like a square or two into my Cozy Memories blanket, but I think I want to wait until I finish the row and then I'm going to show you guys it, rather than do one or two squares. So yeah, that's all that I've got in the 3-week break because school. I guess I'll go into a little bit of talk story then, so that I can talk about Denmark. So, talk story time. Denmark was really, really cool. We got really, really lucky with the weather. It was incredibly sunny. There was almost no clouds in the sky for the 4 days that we were there. And it was warm. So I wasn't freezing and I wasn't getting rained on while I was pulling out sediment cores. I was an hour away from Holst Yarn, which unfortunately I wasn't able to go to just because it was an hour away and we were trying to stay close to the area. And I wasn't the one driving, so I didn't have that. But, oh well. On our way out, as they were driving to drop me off at the all-boys train station, we passed Isager as well. And I was kind of dozing, and I opened my eyes, and I looked out the window, and I saw the sign. I was just like, oh, I didn't. And it stopped on me again. But, anyways. So I saw the sign. I was just like, oh my gosh, that was Isager. I didn't know we were that close. I would have asked if we could have gone to at least Isager, because then I could have checked them out. But alas, we didn't have time. I had to go make a train. But yeah, so Denmark was really, really cool. I would love to go again and be a bit more of a tourist rather than fieldwork person, because there was a lot of really cool. I would have loved to be able to go and check out some of the museums more in Skagen and spend like an actual day on the beach in Skagen rather than just a few hours. And also do some like proper hiking where I'm not trying to find the right kind of soil in order to extract a sediment core from, but just enjoy the scenery and enjoy what I'm doing. Not that I didn't enjoy what I was doing. It was fun. It was interesting. It was just, it is schoolwork. It is dissertation work. So I was focused on making sure that what we were doing, the information we were getting, I was writing down locations and what kind of plants were already growing in that location and all that kind of stuff. So it was more work than it was play. But that's what happens when you go somewhere for dissertation. But it was still cool to see. At least I got to see it, and that was fun. So now I just have work and dissertation writing and lab work to do. And one more exam, but that's next week, this week. next week, the 20 so at some point. I've lost complete track of what day it is anymore, but we have that, and that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to talk story about, unfortunately, but that's just how it is sometimes. So I'm going to say goodbye then, and happy weekend, happy knitting, and enjoy everything that you are doing this week. Bye!